Are one-handed U-turns easy with the 4Runner? Let's find out. This is just an index finger here, and no problem at all. Next up, 0 to 60 test. Downhill, ready, go. Almost 60. This is the 2023 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro in a beautiful solar octane, sort of pumpkin orange color. I love it. I'm going to tell you about the first world problems, how it feels to drive it, and who I think it's good for. Before we do that, let's go through a physical overview. You can see that it has a very aggressive front end compared to the non-TRD Pros. Then we also have a skid plate at the bottom right there for more extreme off-roading purposes. And now I'm gonna take you through the interior so that you can get a sense of how easy it is to adjust everything in the 4Runner. Now, as you can see, it has 3 seats in the back here. You can get an optional third row back there. This one doesn't have it. You can see we have cup holders back here and a nice, really soft armrest right there for the passengers in the back. We can also pull the bottoms of the seats just like that, and then we can fold the seat really easily. All you have to do is first tilt the headrest, click this button right here, and you get quite a bit more cargo room. It is a 60-40 split, so you can fold just this one, or you can fold that side as well. You can split and mix and match however you want. You have really nice materials right here. So you have soft padding on the door, you have the door handle, and then of course the window switches, which are automatic windows. Then you have just a little light back here, AC controls, and 2 USB-C ports, so your passengers in the back can charge their phones or laptops, mobile devices, whatever they need to charge. Then we have a couple of seat pockets here, and we'll get into the front once we drive it. This leads me to the trunk, which is where the first of the first world problems appears, and that is the trunk is actually too tall when it opens up in a standard size garage. So you can see this is a manual lift gate, so there's no power lift gate right here. There's no buttons to press to open or close it, which means it always opens to this height right here. As you can see, when I do this in my garage, it would actually scratch the paint on here, and that would be awful. So instead, I just open this 5th window, which is really nice. You can control this window from the interior as well, and the opening is actually big enough to fit these suitcases, carry-ons, my camera bag, etc. And we have a nice cargo net right here that can hold some additional items, make sure they don't move around while you're driving. We do have a nice little storage pocket right there, as well as a full 120-volt outlet right here. And then we have also a cigarette lighter, so you can plug any accessories that you need to in here. So you have quite a bit of space, which is nice. And you also have this extended tailgate. So when you do have the trunk opened up, you want to sit down to put on your ski boots or put on your boots for motocross riding, or just take a break, relax, and have lunch right here. It is really nice to do so. It comes standard with that hitch right there. You can tow up to 5,000 pounds. And now let's get into driving it and a couple more of the first world problems. First on the list of first world problems is the camera system. You can click the view button right here in order to get the front camera, but as you can see, it is fairly grainy. And when I put it into reverse, the backup camera isn't any better. You can change the angles here, which is cool, but it does not have any beeping sensors. So the closer I get to this trash can, there's nothing to stop me from hitting it audibly, which has become really helpful. I think it's pretty standard now for a backup camera to have beeping sensors as well, and that just doesn't happen. What is cool, however, is that you do have an aerial view right here, so you can see we're really close to that trash can, and we also have the side views. These are cameras from the mirror, so if you're rock crawling, this is actually a really helpful feature. It just happens to be a little bit blurry. The other thing that I noticed that a lot of cars nowadays have is when you tap the turn signal, it will turn on for 3 blinks. This one doesn't do that. So you have to actually hit the turn signal here in order for it to stay on. If you just do 1 click, it only does 1 click. These are all very small first world problems. Oh, and last one, radar cruise control doesn't work under 25 miles an hour. But now let's talk about the important part, and that's how it feels to drive, because this is really a road trip car. Yes, the gas mileage isn't great at a combined 18 miles per gallon, but this feels like a dragon in the best way possible. It will get you wherever you need to go without a doubt, reliably, safely, and comfortably. Now, in terms of the driving feel, you sit very high up compared to most other vehicles on the road. You feel big, you feel safe, you feel secure, and you have a lot of visibility. We have a sunroof in this car right here. The windows are very, very large. We also have that 5th window that rolls down in the back, and it feels very airy and spacious. The shifter right here is actually below my knee, so there's a ton of legroom in the front as well, and it's a very comfortable place to sit and sort of just drive one-handed and go for a very, very, very long road trip in comfort, and I would say in style. So it feels great to drive. The thing is, it's lacking a little bit of power. So right now we're doing 70 miles an hour, and let's say we want to change lanes and had to overtake a car, like that person who just passed us. We want to overtake them because we have to make it to our exit. We're now doing about 65 miles an hour maybe, and you can see when I put my foot down to get to 80, it's gonna take a while. So 0 to 60 takes about 8 seconds in this car, which isn't actually all that slow and doesn't feel that slow, but when you're trying to go from 50 to 70 or 60 to 80, it just seems like you need a lot more power. Like right here, I'm actually gonna change lanes. There's a BMW coming there, and the car really gets loud and has to try to get to 80 just so that I can change lanes and overtake safely. What is nice is that it has blind spot monitoring, so that is really helpful, and you have, like I mentioned, a lot of visibility. So that's how it feels. It actually feels wonderful to drive. It's a little bit slow when you're trying to accelerate, but honestly, it feels fantastic, and it's more than enough power for everyday driving. Now, who is it for? This is a very important question because this is a very big car. When you're just driving by yourself, it feels like a little bit too much car, and on road, you think the 4Runner has so much off-road capability that do I really need it? I would say if you have a dog, if you love to go on spontaneous trips outdoors, camping, surfing, dirt biking, skiing, just going out to hike, this is a wonderful car because you can throw so much stuff in the back. You never have to worry about any of the terrain that you're going on, and it's very comfortable. Also, if you have a large family, you guys do a lot of road trips and you need to pack a lot of stuff in the trunk, you have so much trunk space to carry cargo in this car, and you have comfortable seats in both the front and the rear that it is just a magnificent, yeah, let's take the 4Runner type of car. There's not a situation that I could think of where the 4Runner wouldn't make sense. It fits comfortably into regular parking spots, so it's not like a massive SUV where you have to worry about parking it. It's very easy to drive even at this size, and it's just an all-around very comfortable car. Now let me show you how the radar cruise control works. To do that, I'm gonna get behind this Mustang GT right here, and then I'm going to enable cruise control. And you can see on the steering wheel, we have this control button right here. So this is 3 car lengths between me and the next car. If I wanted to get a little closer, I could hit 2 car lengths. If I want to speed up, I just move this. As you can see, my feet are not on the pedals at all. So this will slow down and speed up in order to keep my speed of 76 miles an hour and maintain my distance that I'd like between me and the next car. So if I want to get a little bit closer, I'm going to tell it, hey, we could just keep 1 car length away, and it will gradually speed up so that I can get closer to that next vehicle. It's really, really convenient for long road trips to have radar cruise control. It does not have steering assist, but it does have lane departure warning. So if I want to turn that on, you can see that green light. So now if I get close to leaving the lane, it will beep at me and say, hey, make sure to stay in your lane, and that is really nice. So overall, I think the 4Runner is still a great car. It has all the features that you'd want. It has Apple CarPlay, as you can see right here. It is wired, so you have to plug in right there. Not a big deal. You have dual zone climate controls in this particular 4Runner, and honestly, the gas is not a big deal, but let's talk about that for a second. I've been able to get 17.8 miles to the gallon on average in the last 400 miles in the TRD Pro, which means if I did about 12,000 miles a year, it would cost $4,000 in gas. Now, if you got something that got 25 miles per gallon instead of 18, you'd be spending about $2,900 on gas, so the difference is $1,100 a year. However, if you got a more fuel efficient car that you need to maintain more than the 4Runner, which the 4Runner is very, very reliable, then that cost might be negligible because you might save $1,100 a year on gas, but every few years spend a few $1,000s fixing whatever competing car you might get. So you might as well get the 4Runner and enjoy it. Wow, that was quick. $35 gone in 45 secones. So there it is. That's my review of the 4Runner. I think if you're considering it, you'll be very happy with it. And in terms of reliability, I know people with 4Runners. My neighbor actually has 240,000 miles on his. It's a 1992. He still loves it. So should you get a 4Runner? If you're even thinking about it, yes, you get my thumbs up vote.